Michel Barnier at Michel Barnier December 12, 2017. But Mrs May will say the UK wants to sign agreements which would come into force after the strictly time-limited period has ended. We'll prepare for our future independent trade policy by negotiating, and where possible signing, trade deals with third countries, which could come into force after the conclusion of the implementation period, she will say as she updates the Commons on a Brussels summit which saw her 27 EU counterparts agree to move on to the next phase of Brexit talks. Mrs May and her senior ministers will also begin the process of thrashing out the government's plans for a post-Brexit UKEU trade deal, as Brussels indicated she may not get the special partnership she wants. A meeting of the Brexit War Cabinet, formerly called the Cabinet European Union Exit and Trade Committee, will take place on Monday, with a full cabinet on Tuesday, as ministers formally consider the relationship the government wants with the EU. The Prime Minister will say there is a shared desire between the UK and EU for rapid progress on an implementation period, before any UK-EU deal comes fully into effect. The EU's negotiating position makes clear that the bloc expects the UK to observe all of its rules, including on freedom of movement, and accept the jurisdiction of the European Court of Justice (ECJ) during this time. Mrs May will say that, "We would not be in the single market or the customs union, as we will have left the European Union, but we would propose that our access to one another's markets would continue as now. We'll be delivering the Brexit people voted for." pic.twitter.com/01 Notches, Theresa May at Theresa_May December 15, 2017, indicating that free movement rules will not continue in exactly the same way. She will say that, "During this period we intend to register new arrivals from the EU as preparation for our future immigration system." Prominent Eurosceptics on the Tory benches have already warned against accepting an implementation period which would leave the UK bound by EU laws without a say over how they are made. The Brexit Cabinet Committee meeting will potentially see a clash between ministers who favour the closest possible ties with the EU in future, requiring ongoing alignment with Brussels regulations, and those who seek a looser arrangement giving the UK more flexibility to strike favourable deals around the world. In an early indication of his position, Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson told the Sunday Times, "What we need to do is something new and ambitious, which allows zero tariffs and frictionless trade, but still gives us that important freedom to decide our own regulatory framework, our own laws, and do things in a distinctive way in the future. We have now to formalize the withdrawal agreement and put it to the approval of the Europol. We will discuss future relations as soon as possible. Phase 2 will be more difficult than Phase 1. At Junkeroo EU CO Brexit pic.twitter.com Gumherbe ist, European Commission at EU_Commission December 15, 2017. He said that if Britain were forced to mirror EU laws after Brexit, we would have gone from a member state to a vassal state. Mrs May has rejected pre-existing models for a future UK-EU relationship, such as Norway-style membership of the European Economic Area (EEA) or a Canadian-style free trade deal on goods. Brexit Secretary David Davis described his vision of the deal as Canada plus, taking in not only trade but services and cooperation in other areas. But the EU's chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier told Prospect magazine, "They have to realise there won't be any cherry-picking. We won't mix up the various scenarios to create a specific one and accommodate their wishes, mixing, for instance, the advantages of the Norwegian model, member of the single market, with the simple requirements of the Canadian one. No way. They have to face the consequences of their own decision. The complexity of the Brexit process, and the potential for the UK's separation not to be fully realised until 2021. Could keep Mrs May in Downing Street because any leadership change could thwart the delicate negotiations," The Times suggested. One cabinet minister told the newspaper, "There is no clean and simple moment when she will can leave. I think the leadership contest will be pushed back and back." Meanwhile, The Guardian reported that Tory Brexit rebels have urged Mrs May to reach out to Labour MPs to form a consensus on a soft exit from the EU. One rebel reportedly said independent-minded Labour MPs would respond positively to a request to provide support to a government that is seen to be doing the right thing.